So, yeah, this is the monstrosity. This build is gonna be making advanced fertilizer. As you can see here, we are currently making a fertilization material. At a very good rate too. We are making 60 advanced fertilizer per minute. This build, and only this, is going to more than replace this entire build. This thing upstairs is going to produce more V's than this entire thing. And it's gonna produce some fuel on top of that. Although this currently could produce technically more fuel value than our new build is gonna be producing. You may have seen on the side a little cube. This little cube, well, many instances of it, but this little cube is going to replace these builds. We're going to paste it. I think I calculated we need 7 of them, in addition to the monstrosity, to completely replace our entire fuel supply and fertilizer supply for the entire factory. So we're going to pull an Alastor today. We are going to remove... this gets removed, all of this gets removed, all of this gets removed. Basically, the only thing that stays on that floor is the shop, because we're going to eventually redesign these 3 builds too. Right. That's a program and a half. So yeah, that's the little cube I was talking about. It is basically 1/3 of the big long fuel builds on the bottom, but better designed, in my opinion. Oh, I'm bonking my hand. Stop bonking, Alastor. It fits in a 9x9 floor space. It's very cute and small. Much more compact than the other one. Yeah. Hooray for mass deconstruct? Yeah, we're gonna be pulling an Alastor. I did say that. Right? We're going to deconstruct everything on that floor. Yeah, so we built and tested this monstrosity here, but this is just a designing space, right? This is not its final place, so we're going to need to decommission that one. And I do have some questions that I am asking myself. Namely, among these questions are, will this fit in our pocket? Right, because we have made a small blueprint for it. And the advanced fertilizer build, that I should rename the monstrosity, really, does require quite a bit of material. 3.4 thousand planks, 1.2 thousand nails, 756 stones, 606 iron ingots, nearly 200 steel ingots. So, yeah. I am not entirely sure if we can hold that in our pocket. And so, yeah, this little fuel build, I barely talked about it. But it is basically 1/3 of the fuel module of the monstrosity. So you can see here the monstrosity has basically 3 times... how can I show you? Yeah, right here. That's a good view. So like this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. And so these 3 modules will consume the planks that the monstrosity is producing as a byproduct for the advanced fertilizer. So yeah, maybe, I don't know if everybody was here last time when we made it, so you may not know how this is working, so let me walk you through it, right? Because this is quite a lot to take in. I wouldn't blame you for thinking it might be too much to take in all at once. It is the result of 12 hours of hard work. Over here, we are making basic fertilizer. How are we doing that? We are grinding limestone boulders into stones. These stones are getting roasted by these 9 crucibles here and then ground down into quicklime powder. This quicklime powder is used to make basic fertilizer by these 4 machines down here, by being mixed up with plant ash. How do we produce plant ash? Well, to produce plant ash, you need to take... Yeah, so we need to take sage, and then we feed it into these crucibles and we get plant ash. To get sage, well, we have nurseries here. Actually, we have too many nurseries, which would really just need 1 because we are using advanced fertilizer to feed them. So we are using part of the advanced fertilizer we are producing to produce the sage that we use to produce the fertilizer, right? But this is consuming a lot less than we are producing in total, so it's not a concern. Then, to make advanced fertilizer, we need to take this basic fertilizer and mix it with fungi. And that makes advanced fertilizer. To do this, we take rotten logs and we put them on a table. So as a result, we will have fungi and planks that are being produced. So we have a mix of both. We sort them out. We send the fungi to the production for advanced fertilizer, and then we need to do something with these planks. And another thing that we do need is heat, because to make these crucibles work, we do need to heat them up. So we need a fuel build to heat the furnace that are feeding these crucibles, and we have a ton of wood being produced. Whatever could we do with that wood? Well, that's where these builds come in. Let me show you the build it's based on, because it's just the same build repeated 3 times, modulo a few details. So this is the build. This is what I call the cube. So we take planks. These planks can come by either putting logs on a table saw, or can come in through the rest of the build. So we have here a merger. Dang it, I want to jump on the build, not to jump next to the build. Thank you. We do have here a merger. If we put in here, in this yellow arrow, planks, it will stop using the table saws and use the planks that we provide instead. And that's our raw material. And that's how we use the planks produced by the advanced fertilizer build. We feed these plants into crucibles, 7 of them over here, and then we grind down the charcoal that has been produced into charcoal powder. We feed the charcoal powder into an athanator, and we get coke as a result, and some charcoal back. Whether we are talking about the coke or the charcoal, we grind it. We grind everything. We grind the coke into coke powder, and we grind the charcoal into charcoal powder that we put back into the athanator. We do need Fernite to feed this entire thing with heat, so we can use some of the coke powder that we are producing. Grind the coke. Oh, coke. Yeah, coke. What's what you're thinking about, Fire? Yeah, so we can use some of the coke powder that we're producing to heat up the crucibles and the Athanator. And of course, we are using also some of it to heat up these crucibles over here. And at the end of the day, we have a little bit of fuel left over, of coke powder, that we will inject into the rest of the factory. That's actually the only requirement of the build. We must consume its output. The good news is that this output of the monstrosity is actually not that much. It is going to be producing less fuel as a byproduct than these builds would produce. Currently, we're not using the fuel produced by these builds for anything else but the basic fertilizer, but we could use some that's produced as a byproduct. Know that we have upgraded the fuel a little bit. And what we are currently overproducing for this, or could overproduce for this, it would be more than the fuel will produce for the other one. So we'll need more fuel than that for the entire factory. And that's good news, because we have the cube that we can paste totally independently. It can work on its own, and that's going to replace these builds. These builds, you see, you have Athanators, you have crucibles. We're producing coke powder here too. The only difference really is that instead of being very modular and just being like one Athanator worth, these builds are 3 Athanators worth, and just slightly less efficient than the other one. And also they can't be used to consume the extra wood we get from the rest. This will be nice. I made a few calculations for this build, because I wanted to know how many of the builds we would need to paste. This will be producing about 1.5 times the amount of fertilizer, at least of fertilizing value, of nutrients it's called. So yeah, this will be producing about 1.5 times the amount of nutrients that our currently installed setup is producing. So not only will it be overproducing, producing enough, it will be way overproducing, which is good because we'll need to grow the factory, right? So yeah, that will be nice. It will give us potential for growth. And so we will be producing 57.69 advanced fertilizer per minute. Pretty nice. For a grand total of 54,000 nutrient value per minute. That's quite a lot. And as a byproduct, we will have 11,520 heat value per minute that should be left over, which is equivalent to 13.43 coke powder being produced. Well, being left over once it has consumed what it needs. And the cube over there, the cute little cube, each module of this is going to be producing 5.69 coke powder per minute. That's not a lot, but that's a lot more than the equivalent of 65 charcoal powder per minute in terms of heat value. So Even though it may not seem like a lot, it's a lot of heat. It is 4,880 heat per minute per module.